Welcome to Danielle Scraps. My name is Danielle and I'm glad that you're here. Make sure you hit subscribe, like, and that bell so you don't miss another tutorial.
Hi everybody, I am so excited to join with you today. It is another mystery envelope challenge from the Inspiration Collaboration Design team. And so for this month of May, our challenge comes from Katie, and she says, living in color. Get it? In color? Because of the in colors for 2025. You are receiving some DSP from Botanical Textures, along with some cardstock from some of the new in colors for 2025-27. The challenge is to bring some color to a project using the new in colors. So you've also received some of the frayed grosgrain ribbon that has been on the last chance and the Riverside irregular pearls that go with everything. These are optional embellishments. Bring this DSP to life with the in colors. Katie. Awesome. Okay, so let's look and see what that looks like for us. So this is the Botanical Texture paper that she has given us. Some smoke, like grays and things. They're all gray tones, sorry. So we have foliage on these four right here. So we flip them over and have more of like background textures that you would see. Like this would be a watercolor, is what I was trying to say earlier, in a black and white tone. Then we have splotches and then just smudging, and then some more of like the smudging sort of texture here. So this is all great to work with. I have two of the in colors right here. These are so fun. Okay, and then here's that grosgrain ribbon that she was talking about. And then here are those Riverside irregular pearls. So let's go ahead and see what we can get into. I'm going to make a scrapbook page. Okay, so I've got my new annual catalog here. It's from May through April. And if you turn to page 28 in here, I have some scrapbook sketches in here. So I'm going to pull a scrapbook sketch from there to go ahead and create today's layout. So let me get all of those measurements figured out, because it just gives you the sketch. It doesn't actually give you any measurements. So let me get that all figured out really quick, and then I'll come right back in with all the pieces and we'll start to get started. All right, so I've got my pieces cut, and what I've done is I have taken the Stylish Shapes dies, which are these right here, and I've cut out a 2.5-inch square and maybe like a 1-inch circle here out of my paper that I have. I pulled in just some random things from my stash to use up for sentiments and embellishing and things like that. And then I also cut my picture with the square 2.5-inch die, which is right here. Okay, so my thought process for this is that this is a grid style layout design that has 4 going across and 3 going up and down. So let me get this straightish for you. And so I think what I will do is I'm just going to do a little bit of a mixture of light and dark mixed in with my picture. Let's see, I think I'll put my picture here. We'll throw in this orange. Now I'll tell you why I picked the color scheme that I sort of picked here. So the colors that we're using are the in colors for 25-27, right? And what's really kind of cool about that is the name of the colors here are called Cloud Cover and Timid Tiger. And this is my daughter as a Tiger Scout. And so if you know anything about scouting at all, you know that tigers are orange. And so I thought it was really cool that this had a little ode to that, if you will. So let me just kind of play with these things here a little bit. We're going to put one of these circles here, and I think one of them goes down here. Let me swap out a couple of pieces here so that these things flow nicely, if you will, and there's not too much going on. Let's see, we'll put the orange over here, a little bit of blue, then this, and then this, and then there we go. Perfect. And so we've got like a little thing here. So I had to guess about what the measurement might be here. So my guesstimate was that there was about a 1/2 inch on each side of these with small spacing between each one of them, leaving me to guess that these are about 2.5 inch squares with about 1-inch circles. And then these are going to be journaling the cardstock ones will be journaling pieces. So let's go ahead and adhere these down, and we're going to sort of eyeball it. My favorite thing to do. And this will be like an easy layout. It just took a few minutes to put together here. And like I said, we're just going to sort of eyeball it here. And my camera's a little crooked, so I'm going to have to turn this so that it's straight for me. So I'm going to start with this top row, and then hopefully we'll just make it consistently crooked all the way through. I really like this cardstock, is so nice and thick. Now I used the small die cutting machine from Stampin' Up here, and I really like it. So you'll see me talk about that next month and why it's one of my favorite tools. I rarely use it on camera just because the surface table that I work on is shaky, and it just doesn't bode well for good video when I'm trying to manipulate it. So I don't use it a whole lot in my videos per se, but I do use it off camera all of the time. I literally just took it to a crop with me. So anyways, I will get back into more of those details. Let's work on this here. I'm loving this little grid layout. Now, grid layouts are nothing new. I know it was the come and go kind of deal or whatever. But I really love the texture that these dies were giving to my little cuts here. So there's the grid kind of all put down in there. And so you can see they give, isn't that cool? I just absolutely love that feature that they give off there. So now we can put our title in here and some pieces. Like I said, this is when I first joined Stampin' Up! From Close to My Heart, we were given in our kit a expired paper pumpkin, or retired, I should say, paper pumpkin kit. That is a mouthful. And this is just remnants left over from that. So I just thought I would plug these in here and see how it looked. You know, I have this coming up here. That's just part of the design element in the sketch, and that one goes down here. And so it's just simply playing with some of these elements that I've pulled out to grasp the design here. Just building like a little area. I liked this feather. I thought it played well with the little eagle sculpture that we had run across that day in our scouting journey. Our scouting adventure that day, I should say. So there's that. And then I'm going to stick this in here. And my Oh Happy Day is going to come down there. And I think I've done a really good job of incorporating the in color, like Katie's challenge suggested. What will finish this off super nice is just some journaling right around the edges with my journaling pen. So let me grab that really quick and adhere down these little pieces so that everything is good and we can wrap this up. So let me grab that pen. All right, so I've got my camera straight, but now it's at an angle, so we're just going to deal with that today. I've got a journaling pen, so the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm just going to outline my single page here. I'm going to come down, and I'm doing my best to sort of just keep my arm or my wrist straight, pulling in. And then I am going to add in that ribbon that was included in the mystery envelope. And I'm just going to include it on the side over here because when I put this in, I didn't center it well enough, so it's too far over to the left for me. And so to fix that, I'm just going to go ahead and put some ribbon over here on the side. And I can always come in and dye this later with any ink, or I should have dyed it beforehand, but I don't have the end color ink pads in yet. Shame on me. It is what it is. So I'm just going to flip this over really quick. Put a little adhesive here. This is just the typical dry adhesive. I'm going to do that. And then because this is a scrapbook page and not a card, I'm not going to knot it. I just don't want any, I've already got some 3D dimensionals right for my title. So I feel like if I make this in a knot or something, I'm just adding too much bulk to it. So just want to sort of see where I'm at here, make sure it's straight. Let's do a little tack right here in the center, sort of help keep that there. I'm going to come back over here and just sort of fix this and put that down a little bit better. Now we've used that. And then the last thing we to do is just simply add in those super cute river gems that were included in here. And I'm going to sort of tuck them under the title here. It's going to pull in those colors. I think that's why they were included, because they do such a good job of capturing the color that it's around, I think. My personal opinion. Aren't those cute? They're so cute. And then like off camera here, I'll go ahead and add in my special journaling so that just our details are kept private with us. But yeah, I love this. This turned out so great. All right. We'll just add maybe one or two that's left over here to kind of tie it in. And there is my mystery envelope. Thank you so much, Katie, for this challenge. This was awesome. I absolutely love it. And I will see you guys next time. I hope you enjoyed this layout and you are inspired to create something of your own. See you next time.